If you're new to graphic design and you've never touched a creative app in your life, then this video is going to show you everything you need to know to get started in Affinity for beginners. I'm going to show you what the app is, how it works, how you can use it for graphic design, photo editing, logo design, illustration. Yes, it does all of those things. And by the end, you should have a really good understanding of what Affinity is, how it works, and how to get started. First of all, head to the link in the description, go to Affinity. From there, you can download it. Once you've downloaded it, open it up. When you open it up, you'll probably get this box that opens. This is your welcome box. Gives you tutorials and it shows you files, your recent files, your templates, and some of your favorite, all linked here. This is where we open up new documents. I would highly recommend downloading all of these lessons here because they open up for you. For instance, here, if I download this, it's really quick. It opens up for you a little video that you can view and check out and learn. Basically, these introductory steps. And it also gives you this file that you can play around with and, just mess around with it. To get to the welcome window, just press the Affinity symbol up here. Now on my homepage, we have the Welcome to Affinity panel and some of my old or recent documents that I've been working on. I can go into see more and I can see some of my client work here, which I won't go into too much detail. Up here, we have the open button. This will allow us to open up a file. Now everything in Affinity has a file name with the extension .af. It's hilarious. But if we press this green button here, we'll get a bunch of page sizes and a document box. This is where we create our documents. So if you're going to create, let's say, an A4 poster, you might just want to stick with A4 here and press create document. But let's say you wanted to create a YouTube thumbnail, then you might want to go and find one of the web documents, which is down here, video and web. If we look here, we've got the 1080p full HD. If I click this, notice it's portrait. To change its orientation, just click here. That will change it from landscape to portrait. I'm going to go for, let's say, Ultra HD 4K. Once you've clicked this, you have a bunch of options on the right. You can create your own preset by renaming this and changing some of the settings. You don't really need to worry about any of these parts here because reality, this is just for setting up documents and you can do that within the app when you start working. So I'm going to press create document and straight away it will open up like this with the document in front of us. This is our canvas right now. And a canvas is where you place all of your work. You'll notice that you can kind of go all the way around it. And the way that I like to think of this is when we do work in Affinity, we have a piece of paper in front of us and that's this canvas. And we then put work on top of that canvas, whether that's shapes or whatever. Now let's say you have an image that you want to bring into Affinity and you don't want to start with a blank canvas. You can just go into your Finder or Explorer tabs and just drag it in. And when you drag it in, it will open up the document at the exact same size as your photograph. I'm going to get rid of that for now. So we've got this. This is great. What now? Let's start with the toolbar over here. This is where you'll find your tools in Affinity. If you hold and just hover on top of one, it will open up this box that will give you a helping hand in knowing what it is. So this is the move tool. And that little V on the side, that simply means that's the shortcut key on your keyboard that you can use. I'll show you later in the series how you can actually change shortcuts pretty easily. So all of these are the tools that you use. If you imagine a toolbox and you open it up, this is all the tools in there on the left-hand side. Now, if you don't see the same tools on the left-hand side here, it's because you're in another studio. The way that Affinity works is that it's not just a competitor of a photo editing app or a vector editing app. It's actually all these apps in one. And the way that Affinity works is through what are known as studios. If we look at the top here, we'll see this blue thing that says vector. This is called the vector studio. If we go to the right, this is the pixel studio. And if we go to the right again, this is the layout studio. But notice what happens to my screen as I'm pressing this. My tools and everything are changing. What's going on? Well, this isn't switching us to different apps. It's actually just changing the tools around you. So imagine you have a box of tools in front of you that are for vector. This is the vector studio. Imagine it's just pixel based, so you want to do some photo editing. Well, then you've got your pixel tools. And then over here, you've got your layout tools. And that's for designing magazine layouts, using typography, maybe even gridding posters up. So the way that Affinity works is through these different studios that you see at the top. So if I go into the vector studio, you'll notice I've got these windows on the right-hand side. At the top, you'll notice that you've got your colors, your swatches, your stroke, and appearance. We're not going to go into depth on each of these right now, but it's just important to know that you can bring these out and move them. If you click and drag, you can move it anywhere, and you can move it back in if you want as well. The same with the layers panel, that's just down here. You can increase the size of the layers panel, you can go to the path brush effects, or heck, you can just bring out the layers panel if you want and just shove it anywhere you like. And when you go to a different persona or studio, hide itself until you go back to the studio that you were in. Down here, you have your navigation and history. All of these windows, although look like they are stuck, they really aren't. You can bring them all out and move them and customize them however you want. But I would recommend just leaving it all right now. If you're a complete beginner, don't move anything. Leave it there. It makes it easier for the tutorial. Now up here, we have another toolbar. This one up here changes depending on the workspace as well that we're in. So if we're in the layout studio, you'll notice there's not much going on up here. But if I'm in the pixel studio, you'll notice it's a bit different. If I'm in the vector studio, there's a bunch more. And some of these you won't see in yours because I've edited it to change it. The whole point of Affinity is one app for everything that you do, from logo design to layout design, photo editing and photo manipulation. It does it all. Now, if we've got these different studios, that means that we can customize these studios as well. There's a little button here to the right, these 3 dots. If you click that, you'll get a list of all these different studios going on, and you can add them in like so by pressing this little toggle switch on the side, or get rid of them. You'll notice I've got my own studio right here. This is my personal studio that I use when I'm working on logos or branding. This is where Affinity becomes really powerful, because not only do you have these studios at the top that are already made for you, you can actually make your very own. And we'll get more into making your own studio later. Let's focus on the fundamentals. This video is sponsored by Freshbooks. Are you constantly chasing late payments, wrestling with clunky spreadsheets and trying to figure out which invoices have actually been paid? Well, there's a way to simplify your finances faster than you can say past due invoice. That's where Freshbooks comes in. It's the small business software that makes the hard parts of running your business easy. Whether you're a freelancer or a small business with employees or contractors, Freshbooks gives you all the tools you need to manage your finances in one place. With Freshbooks, you can create and send professional invoices that get you paid faster, thanks to flexible payment options like credit cards and bank transfers. You can effortlessly pay your employees and contractors with FreshBooks Payroll. Collaborate seamlessly with your team and clients, manage expenses and track time with ease, and also generate powerful financial reports to keep a clear picture of your business. And most importantly, keep your books organized, all from a single intuitive platform. And right now, there's a brand new offer just for channel subscribers. Head over to freshbooks.com/Will Patterson to unlock your exclusive offer now. So there's a lot of tools going on here. Don't worry about these tools. Everything is fine. All we want to worry about is this one here, this shape tool. You'll notice that if I click this, it's a rectangle tool. If I click it, it will open it up and I can start using it. And every time I click on my canvas or even outside of the canvas, you'll notice that it will create a shape. Now, if I go to my selection tool, I can click each of these shapes individually and move them to wherever I want. Now, this is the basics of vector editing. Vector editing is very different to normal, what we call bitmap or pixel editing. But if I use my zoom tool down here, or press Z and zoom in, you'll notice that it gets a bit pixelated. In fact, I'll change the color of this so you can see it. It gets very pixelated as we go in. And the reason for that is because we're viewing our work here in what's known as pixel mode. No matter what studio you're in, if you go up to the top left here, you'll notice that you have these 2 buttons. You're either in pixel mode or in vector mode. If I zoom back in and I switch from pixel mode, which is what we're already on, to vector mode, you'll notice that it gets really sharp, like so. Now, the reason for this is that vector isn't pixels. Vector is technically mathematics. And I won't go too deep into it, but logos are made with vectors. Typography is made with vectors. If you've ever seen those billboards outside with a lot of illustrations with huge text and you wonder how doesn't it not get blurry or pixelated, because of vector. Now, if I wanted to, I can select multiple things here. I can go in and select everything and then just delete it with backspace. But if I hold down on this rectangle tool here, I can find a bunch more shapes. I've got a star tool. If I hold down again, I've got this quad star tool. If I hold down again, I've got a crescent tool. And all of these are what we know in graphic design as primitives, or some of them aren't primitives, but these are just default shapes that we can go to. We even have a rounded rectangle tool. Now these are all in vector mode because I switched it to vector. Now the way that Affinity works is, again, each vector shape has its own layer, and you can see them over here on the right. They're kind of hard to see, so what I'll do is change the color by highlighting them all and either going up here or down here. You'll notice you've got these two swatches. If I go to the solid swatch, double click, I'll get a color chooser and I can just bring out a nice, I don't know, let's do an orange, nice bright orange. Press close and boom. So you'll notice here on the right, we have our layer panel and it's got a little icon next to it. If I hover over these icons, you'll notice it shows me the actual shape of what it is, like what is this shape? And you can do all sorts of things with these layers, but this is so that when you're in a document that is quite detailed, you can go into the layers and pick them as you like. And you can also change the effects of these layers too. Now that moves me on to the next thing I want to show you, which is effects. Once you have a shape like this or whatever, if I select this, I've got on my layers panel here, we've got a bunch of buttons. And again, if I hold and hover over the top of one, it will show me what that button is. So this first one is layer effects. This next one is a mask layer. This next one's a filter. This next one's adjustments. This one is a container layer, a group, and a pixel layer. And then we have the trash can if we wanted to get rid of a layer. If I wanted to add a drop shadow to this squircle shape, this rounded rectangle, I would just click this or click my layer, and I'm going to go into the effects layers. The layer effects box will pop up and it looks complicated, but it really isn't. Each one of these is an effect on the left hand side and you can turn it off or on. I can bevel and emboss this if I wanted to, and I can increase the radius of me beveling and embossing it. I can soften it. And you can notice as well in Affinity, it's really fast and it also does it live. You can see it happening live, and you can change the pillow to emboss like so to make it 3D. You can change the color. So I could change this to like a pink if I wanted to. It looks terrible, but I can do it. I can change the direction. That looks pretty cool actually. It's a nice little animation. It's gone a bit crazy on me, but there you go. And I can just turn that off if I want to. I can even add an outline to this, so I can change the radius, change the corner, there you go, all of this stuff, boom. I can make it 3D if I wanted to. But if I wanted to add a drop shadow, I'm going to add an outer shadow, which is down here. I can click this, and then I can increase the radius of this outer shadow, and I can probably change the offset of it so it goes to the right. Change the opacity slightly so it's there. And then if I wanted to as well, I can create another drop shadow and another one and another one. And I can get rid of them like so. When I press close, you'll notice that the shape is there with its drop shadow, and I can still edit it. I can move it around and do some crazy things. The layers panel is really powerful because it allows us to see certain effects that are on layers. It allows us to copy and duplicate the same effect by holding Option and dragging onto other shapes as well. Now I'm going to delete all these shapes. We don't need them. Now, when you draw a shape, like let's say this rectangle, how do you make it so it's a perfect square? Well, in most design apps, similar to Affinity, you just press Shift. You hold Shift. And when you do that, it constrains the aspect ratio to a perfect square. If I let go, it's going to allow me to do it anywhere. Holding Shift constrains that to me. Now notice when I click this shape that we have another toolbar that changes depending on what I'm clicked on. So let's say I'll bring in some text actually. If I bring in some text for this and I make some edits, you'll notice that depending on what I'm clicked on, this contextual bar will change. If I'm clicked on text, it will show me a bunch of text options just here. If I click on the shape, it'll show me some options for the shape. So when this happens, don't freak out. This is just where you can change your text and your font. It's where you can change the color for your shape and change the thickness of the stroke around it if you wanted one. You can even change some of the object handling. Now at any point in Affinity, you can actually move to a different studio, which is the power of this. So at any point I can say, hey, you know what? Get it? I can move to the pixel mode because I want to do some like add an image or edit an image. So if I bring this image in here, you'll notice I can do some editing with this. I can do the adjustment brush tool to this image, and that will apply a pixel brush layer over the top of it. I can do the clone brush, so if I wanted to clone this and then just move it over here, I can do that like so. Normally this would only work in other apps that you're using separate from vector apps, but in Affinity it does it all in one, and you can tell that it's doing this because you can change the effects after. In the next one, I'm going to show you my workflow and show you some of the work that I've done, which will help you fully understand how Affinity can be powerful and how easy it is to really use for whether that's branding, photography, or logo design.